Hey, what's up guys? I wanted to do a video because I'm going to NAMM and my band, Pack of Larks, is going to be playing there. So I have the first occasion in my career of needing like a fly rig. So I need something I can take on the plane as a carry-on. And our singer Jeff lent me a mono case for my guitar, and he encouraged me to pick up something called the Tick, which is basically a small accessory case that straps onto the mono case, so it counts as one carry-on item. And you can get a pedal board from Mono that fits inside of that Tick. So I just wanted to go through the process of choosing what I wanted to put on that board, and then also go through like the setup process. For me, I tend to use a high gain distortion for rhythm and lead stuff, using my volume knob or a volume pedal to cut the gain back a little bit for little quieter parts. I need a delay, a tuner obviously, and so I'm just going to go through what I'm using on the board and how I'm setting it up, and kind of the decision-making process around that. So this is the mono bag that I borrowed from Jeff, and you can see attached to it is this thing, the Tick. It connects right to the bag with these Velcro straps on either side and down here. And then inside of it fits, whoops, this small pedal board. So the goal was to get everything that I needed to fit onto this board, which fits in the Tick, which fits on the plane. So here we go. One of the first questions to figure out was whether I wanted to use like a dedicated power supply, like a one spot mounted to the pedal board, or to use like a one spot with a daisy chain. And what I found was that with using the daisy chain, there just wasn't enough power to get to the pedals, including the Strymon dig that I like to use. I think that needs a little bit more juice, and so I was getting this kind of whiny, strange noise when using the daisy chain. So I opted to go for the one spot CS6, which will fit underneath of the pedal board light for the mono case. So I'm going to mount this to the board, and then got to do the Velcro and all that, and then we'll start putting the pedals and stuff on there. Walking into my workshop, and my wife did this to scare the shit out of me. So I saw on another YouTube video, I have to remember who it was that made the video, but that this particular power supply fits underneath of this particular pedal board. And then I was just trying to figure out where I want to mount it. And I wanted to have it more towards the edge here, so it's easy to just plug it in. But then if I need these power jacks on the side here, I don't want these wires running over the side of the board. So I'm thinking mount it more towards the middle. And so even though I'll have to probably turn it over to plug this in, it's no big deal. And then I have room to run the cables out these channels here instead of over the side. So let's get it mounted. They give you this nice pattern, so you know where to drill. So what I'm going to do is, obviously the screws will go in through the top of this underneath. And so I'm going to put the power supply where I want it. I'm going to put the pattern would go this way. So I'm going to put this underneath of here, get it where I want it. I think that looks pretty good. And then drill the pilot holes. The video that I watched on YouTube, I'll link it because I don't remember the person's name, but they figured out that they needed to put on regular Velcro because all their pedals have regular Velcro. The board comes with loop and hook or whatever it's called, but all my pedals have regular Velcro, so I'm going to put that on here. And the person in the video, they put the Velcro on and then had to screw through it. So just wanted to mention, mount your power supply before you do your Velcro. All right, so now we've got the power supply and the Velcro. Next will be pedals. So I mentioned earlier, for me, I prefer to use normally amp distortion, delay through an effects loop. I use a chorus pedal. I use a volume pedal with a minimum volume, so I can just kick that back to get to clean my sound up a little bit. And then I use a wah pedal and a tuner. But for this particular gig, I will have to use a backline amp, which I'm assuming has a distortion, but instead I'm just going to use a distortion pedal. I have this JHS AT Plus. This thing is amazing. I love this pedal. It's the Andy Timmons signature pedal from JHS. The left stomp engages the pedal and the right one engages a boost. And you have an independent boost knob here. I love this thing. It sounds amazing. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use Polytune Mini for a tuner. And then to solve the issue with not like a volume pedal with a minimum volume, there's the Morley one that's about this size. I have a little alligator pedal. That thing is humongous. So a friend of mine let me know about this. It's called the Signal Pad from Electro-Harmonix, and basically it's got a potentiometer on it. You can just roll the volume back, and then when you engage it, it'll cut your volume down a little bit. So I'm going to use that in lieu of a volume pedal. And I'll use this wah, but I'm going to have it just off the board on the floor. For the delay, normally I use this. So far right for me is always a tuner. Then I'm going to put the signal pad next to that. Then I would run my distortion. And then lastly, the dig. So that fits pretty nicely, and there's plenty of room for the power and the patch cables. So let me get my patch cables and we'll start wiring it up. I got these really low profile MXR patch cables. So it looks like on the one side you've got two 200 milliamp and two 100 milliamp 9-volt jacks, and then on this side you have two 500 milliamp 9-volt jacks, which should be enough to power that Strymon delay. So let's hook that up. So is that gonna be secure? So that wire is running under the pedal down through the gap here, so I'll have to do some testing to make sure that that's not going to keep the pedal from adhering to the board nicely, but I think it'll be okay. And then lastly, we'll hook up the distortion pedal. And for this one, I think I'm going to run it from this side. Then it can just run up this way. Don't love that. Do we have a right angle? Oh, duh. I'm a fool. I am a fool. Okay. So everything fits, even with a little bit of space. It's all wired up. Cool. Probably try to zip tie these or something, make it look nicer. Doesn't love a wah pedal, and this is a Morley switchless mini. So these, you step on it, it engages. You step off, it disengages. I love that way more than having a button to step on. Only thing I forgot is I need power for the wah. And instead of having to carry a dedicated adapter for that, I think I'm just gonna plug one of these in under here and just leave it loose, connect it to the wah when I'm playing, and then tuck it away when I pack it up. Just connected that wire there, plugged it into the wah, and we got power. Everybody is happy.
Okay, so I got the board all wired up. I'm plugged into my computer, plugged into my Scarlett 2i2, and running through Logic. I got a very, don't need a metronome. I got a very clean sound going through the Neural DSP Pliny X plugin. Sounds like this. So I'm gonna just show you what the board sounds like. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to kindly ignore my feet. So here's our clean tone. Now the JHS AT Plus, this is the distortion. And again, that has a boost built right into it. For leads and stuff. This is the delay. The signal pad, so this is that attenuator that I can use to cut my distortion from to the good old polytune and wah pedal. And there you have it. So that is the board for NAMM, and so the band's flying out to Anaheim for NAMM Friday, January 24th. We're playing at 9 o'clock at the Marriott, and the day after, Saturday, we're playing in LA at the Hotel Cafe. So if you are in that area, come check us out. The band's called Pack of Larks. And wish me luck with this travel board, this fly rig. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this. Comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill. All right, have a good day.